What was I doing? Equipment. We're gearing up. We're doing equipment. We're doing equipment today. And theoretically, maybe getting through this whole thing. This is pretty long. I don't know if we'll get through it all today. But I would really like to, because that would be great. I guess we'll do a quick review of where we're at. Raw black metal is often called lo-fi, mainly because of it's just okay. I mean, I get that. Okay, so we have health potions we can pick up, we have dudes we can kill. The number and type of dudes scales with dungeon level. Oh yeah, we have dungeon levels. We have an inventory where we can use items. I hate this so much. Why are you like this? Come on, where's some stairs? It's an example. Yeah, sure. If you post a link in the Discord, I will absolutely check that out later. Oh, you're from the... Why is the very first VOD in this series from like February is making the rounds right now? Like, I've got comments on that video. I've got like a bunch of extra watch time. A bunch. I mean, it's a very small channel, but like a bunch relative to what I had before. I don't know what changed, because I did not touch that video in the slightest, but it's going around right now. I'm delighted. I'm happy to have the extra audience. But yeah, we're nearly done this series. I think interesting Godot in general is going up. Yeah, especially after Unity had its announcements. That's why I decided on Godot instead of Unity back in the fall. Okay, seriously, where are the stairs in this level? Genuinely, I would like some stairs, please. Have regrets. It's one of the very first devlogs that comes up if you look for them. Still playing through the 80s cyber chase visuals. Yes, but I think I'm gonna save that for my own game, because this has been a learning project where I'm just not blindly following a tutorial, but I'm like 90% following a tutorial. So I think I'm gonna save the 80s themed stuff for my next game. Here we go. There's a place I haven't explored yet. There's the goddamn stairs. Oh, and I leveled up. This is another thing we've added. What do we want to level up? Oops, I pressed a button. I guess we're doing whatever I pressed. But yeah, there's enough problems with this tutorial and like the way they've structured the code and stuff that I'm just like, but why did you do it that way? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway. Point being, things work. There's enough things with this code that I'm like, but why? That I just want to do another one from scratch by myself. Now that I've got enough of a handle on Godot that I can just, I feel like I can do it myself now. And then that's when I'll put in all the effort on the art and the music and stuff. Congrats on the progress. Thank you. Yeah, it's It doesn't feel like it's happening very fast because I only work on it for like 2 hours a week. But going back and editing old VODs, and I'm like, oh wow, I've actually done some things. There we go. So I'm very excited to start my own thing and maybe write my own tutorial, because this one starts out pretty decent, but there's a couple of spots where it's just like, and here's the part where I realized that I've done all this code wrong and blah blah blah, and it's like, so you didn't like fix it and then rewrite the tutorial? I mean, that's a way to do it. It's not the way I prefer. So I might do it again, but different. People don't know the mistakes. It's weird because, like, it's not a mistake necessarily. They just like get like 3 parts down the road, and then it's like, and this way that I chose to do things 3 parts ago means we now have to do a massive refactoring, and they walk you through it all. And that works. And it's helpful from, I guess, the perspective of like, what's the actual dev experience like? Like, I tried this one thing and then realized that was the wrong way to do it. Now I have to go back and fix it. And so it's helpful in that way. But also, if you're doing a tutorial, can you just do it right the first time? You know? You know? It's happened in most Godot tutorials? Really? Okay. Well, I will endeavor to make a tutorial that doesn't do that. It's scary when you're new? Fair enough. I forget these things. I've been writing code for... I've been writing code since I was 15. And I've been doing it professionally for 10 years. So I don't remember what it's like to not know stuff. Which I think sometimes is a detriment when I'm trying to explain things to people that are new. Because I'm used to thinking in code. I don't remember how to not think in code at this point. GD script is my first attempt. It's not, it seems like it's not bad for a first language. It seems pretty friendly. Syntax-wise, it's a lot like Python, which I guess makes sense. I believe I read in the archives somewhere that Godot was originally using Python, but then there was like threading and performance issues with Python, so they made their own language. Put all my stat points into art, so I'm not very technical. That's fine. I put all my stat points into technical, so my art is, I mean, you saw my main screen. My main menu screen, that is the best art that I've ever done, and it's not great. Like, this is not good. This is not good art. But it's the best I've got. Side note, that is an emoji. Or there's a version of that anyway. And there's also the cookie as well. My my not good art has been emojified or emotified. Should anybody so desire. Ember Dragon, you're gonna teach me how to draw basics as a fail along? Honestly, yeah. It's got a web 1.0 race. I mean, I'm old enough I remember that era of the web, so I guess that makes sense. It's got a certain retro charm. Everyone starts somewhere. I'm proud of myself. Teach me to draw. I'm you know, I'm also reasonably proud of the cookie. It's also not great. I still don't love the layout of the chocolate chips. I'm being overly picky about the layout of the chocolate chips, and I think the shading could be better. But as a very first art asset, I think it's not bad. You can tell it's supposed to be a chocolate chip cookie. It's not the most delicious chocolate chip cookie, but it is definitely a chocolate chip cookie. And what more can you ask for? Sometimes that's enough. It is enough. I think it's enough. All right, let's actually write some code. We're adding this at where? We're adding source entities, actors, components, new script called what? Equippable component. Equippable component. Maestro Grimm, I don't know what language that is, but welcome. Where did it go? Equippable component, here we go. And then we've got that code and we'll stick it in here. Now what are we doing? What are you upset about? Could not find type equippable component definition. Yeah, well, we haven't made it yet. Stop complaining. Okay, yes, we are about to make the thing that it's complaining about. So this is just defining our equipment type, the power bonus, the defense bonus. So I guess the additional stats it gives us, and then we just set it in the init function. Straightforward. Now we're making an equippable component definition. In these actors, component definitions, extending resource. Oh, no, that's wrong. Wait. Create a new script. Okay, I don't want that. I want a new script. I want a new script. Create a new script. Yes, okay. And it's gonna have this stuff in it, which is our type of resource. We've got the equipment type, the power bonus, and the defense bonus. Power being like our attack strength, and defense being our armor, basically. I'm also not entirely confident. Do not eat a granola bar right before you have to talk a bunch. That's a bad plan. Add that one to the streaming lessons. What was I saying? Stats. I'm also not entirely confident about how it's decided to calculate the stats. It's just, there's a lot of the organization of this code that I'm just like, I guess that works, and maybe there's a reason it was done this way. For Godot reasons that I just haven't realized yet, but I'm going to do things differently when I do my own game. Okay, we won't change these values, meaning equippable components don't have state. And as such won't need special consideration in the save system, but should work as they are. Equippable component will work in conjunction with an equipment component. Equippable, okay. Which we will code later. However, we can already think about items using that component. In our simple system, an item will either have a consumable component, like a potion, or an equippable component, like I guess we'll have a sword, probably. We will use the same item interaction system for equipping and unequipping we have used for consumables, so having both on an item would mean the game won't know if you intend to consume or equip it. Which I guess the way that works would preclude having things like in D&D you could find a wand that has 3 uses of fireball or something. So you would consume the uses but equip the item, and this would not allow you to do something like that. So things like that, I would like a more extensible system when I make my own game. Not that I plan on doing things with wands and fireballs, but... For instance, an item that has a set number of uses. I suppose you could code that in this system as a consumable item that doesn't immediately consume. It has like a countdown, a number of consumptions or something. Which just sounds like, I don't know, you're dying of a Victorian era disease. Dying of consumptions. Running out of consumptions. Moving along. One of my neighbors sounds like they're dying. Oh my god, that cough. Speaking of consumption. Okay, we'll embed that restriction in our entity definition system. By changing the expected types of the exported variable, this will show both a strength and a weakness of Godot's resource system. First step, okay. That system, I wonder if you could just stack item 1 on is actually 3 or something. Maybe. I feel like that, the way this system's structured, that would be harder to do than just to add the property of number of uses. Because there's no way to do item stacking the way things are currently set up. But if you did have item stacking, that could totally work. You just have like 3 copies of the item or something. But yeah, there's no item stacking the way things are set up, and good lord, the way things are set up, I do not want to put item stacking into this code. That'd be a mess. Okay. Creating a new script, add component definitions, item components definition. It's lo-fi because it has similar synth? Is that what defines lo-fi? I figured lo-fi was mostly defined by it doesn't have certain frequencies, like it's sort of... Like the audio quality is sort of flat, like almost like you've run it through a telephone, in a sense. Although this track doesn't really fit that. But like, it's not bassy, and it doesn't have big lows or big highs. It's all kind of mid. I'm very rambly today. I don't know if that's a good thing. Making an item component definition. Actors, components, component definitions. New script. Exactly how the metal lo-fi song sounds. Okay. I'm very interested to hear this metal lo-fi song. That just does not seem like it should work. I just realized I spelled fighter component definition wrong. Has this been wrong? Like, if I fix the spelling of this, will this break everything? I bet it will, so I'm not gonna fix it. But this is gonna bother me so much that I forgot the T in fighter. Oh, and this one's got 2 dots. Oh, I gotta fix this. Oh, maybe it won't break everything because it's got the class name Fighter. I'm gonna fix it and hope it doesn't break everything. If everything explodes when I run the game again, we're just gonna have to go through and find where I misspelled Fighter. Aside from the vocals, you like it? That's generally my problem with metal. I like it except for the vocals, which is like half the point of metal. But I like the instrumental part. Angry guitar is good. Angry voices, not so much. For me personally. Okay, we're going to change the consumable component definition as well. Ah. Which now extends instead of resource. Consumable is now a type of item. And equippable items are also items, so we're going to change equippable component definition. Now in entity definition, gonna find the good part to timestamp. Oh, in the song? Okay, and now in entity definition, we remove consumable definition, replace it with an item definition. Under components? What are you talking about? Ah, I see, we've got an item definition instead of a consumable definition. Because the way this is set up, items and living things are entities. So, like, theoretically you could have a monster that when you kill it turns into, like, food or an equippable item or something. I guess that would be like a drop. It'd be very easy to add drops, I think, on monster death. But you could also have, like, I don't know, a sentient bit of wedge of cheese or something. Oh my god, why can I not make this music play? Of course it's at 420. Why am I incapable of playing music? This is not a difficult thing. Why are you incapable? But I love the idea, for whatever reason, I love the idea of like a sentient wedge of cheese or something running around, but you could like walk up and take a bite out of it and heal some health. But I suppose it makes more sense if the monster just turned into something else when it died. Like dropping a weapon or loot of some sort. Okay, the new... like the Sardinian one. Yeah, I retract that idea completely. That's... never mind. I don't like that idea anymore. Do not want. Okay. A new variable type item component definition meaning can hold a definition for any of the consumables we have as any for an equippable item. The nice thing is that when we create a sub-resource for that variable in the inspector, we will get offered just these options as we had with the consumables. I really like that part of the resource system. Now, what I don't like is that we just lost some data. All the consumable definitions were stored in the variable consumable definition, which no longer exists. Godot cannot know that we are refactoring that same information to the item definition variable. Of course, we could have just changed the type of consumable definition, but that name would have been misleading. The effect of this is that we have to reopen our existing item definitions and restore the component definitions we had on them previously. Awesome. Welcome for time saved. Okay, gotta find the confusion scroll. That one? No, component definition. Extends consumable component. Okay, yes, and property number of turns. What? The effect of this is that we have to reopen our existing item definitions and restore the component definitions we had on them previously. Oh. Does that mean... component definition. No, that's not what it means. Thought maybe there was something over here on the sidebar I was talking about. Yes, number of turns is an integer. But do you want me to just put the thing in there? Is that what you're saying? To reopen our existing item definitions and restore the component definitions we had on them previously. Definition number of turns, which seems like this is a learning moment. Wonder if I save this first and then reload the current project, because sometimes that makes things make more sense. Please hold for a moment while Godot completely reopens itself. And then freaks out while I try to drag it onto the other window. No, okay, that does not, I guess it means change it here? a variable to found literal instead. Okay, so that's not what it means. I don't know what it's referring to. This is another one of the things that when I make my own tutorial, I will make it make more sense. No. Oh, this is not the thing. Confusion scroll. Confusion scroll definition. Here we go. This is the thing. Never mind. I'm just not understanding things. Okay, so you're saying components... Our confusion scroll does not have a fighter definition or an AI type. Is it... Can I guess I need to add a new consumable component definition? No. That's not it. Somewhere in here. I will figure out what it is I'm trying to figure out. Can I make this bigger? Okay, it's saying confusion scroll definition. In the... Okay, that's this thing. Fusion consumable component definition. There we go. I got the right thing finally. Oh my god. Figured it out. This is one thing I'm not sure how I feel yet about doing stuff in the IDE versus in the code. Because you can accidentally hide stuff in the interface. I don't know. Because on the one hand, it's like, it's nice to be able to set it that way, but also sometimes it's not nice to find the thing you're looking for. And there does appear to be debate about which way is the better way. Okay, now that I've actually figured out what it's telling me to do, the fireball scroll definition. Needs a fireball. 12 and 3. Health potion needs the healing component. Heals 4, I believe 4. And lightning scroll. Lightning damage of 20 and a range of 5. All right, that's fixed. Now we're going to create some equippable items, save them next to our other item definitions, and choose appropriate icons for them as usual. Okay, we get to make items. I guess we'll store them in here. We're going to make a dagger. No, not item. Dagger definition. There we go. Make an Easter egg item? What would be the Easter egg item? I could be extraordinarily literal and make an actual Easter egg. Am I the only one that thinks that's funny? It's an Easter egg. It's probably unnecessary. How do I set stuff again? That'd be cute. I have to remember how to actually add items. Something like a moon labeled Rock of Artemis. Could do that. Oh god, it's been a hot minute since I made items. I don't remember how to do this. How did I do this? Oops, there's a dagger definition. But I feel like I need to add something in here. Like a dagger equipment component definition. Of item? No, we're not gonna. No, not item. Equipment. I feel like, no, I don't. Do I need this? I don't think I do. Hang on. Just have to remember how to set things. Or a resource. But how did I set? nope, 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 nope. Not that. Don't want item, I want... the equippable component definition. Okay, okay. Here we go. Weapon. Okay, we're making progress. Two and 0. Okay. But how did I set the things? I'm very confused. Add metadata? Is that? That's not what I want. It's not what I need. Why do I not remember how making items worked? This should not be so difficult. Do I need to make you an entity definition? Is that how that works? Here we go. Item definition. Equippable. That's better. I figured it out. Do you have a dream game in mind when you picked up learning Godot? No. My creative problem is that I lack ideas. Dwarf Fortress ripoff? It's not a ripoff, but like something like that. I don't know. I lack ideas. I have the ability to make things, but I lack the inspiration about what direction to go. There's nothing that's like really grabbed me like, I need to make this thing. So I'm just kind of going with the next thing that seems reasonable. But something as big as like a Dwarf Fortress anything I need more experience before I tackle anything that big. I am so jealous of people that are full of ideas because I lack the ideas. I feel like I would be a really good co-founder for somebody because I have no idea about what direction to go or what idea, whatever, but if somebody can present me with a good idea that I am into, I will sit on your head and make it happen. That didn't necessarily come out the way I wanted it to, now that I have heard myself say it. But you know what I mean. I will poke you until it happens. Because idea people tend to lack follow-through before they're on to the next idea. I have all the follow-through and none of the ideas. Yes, yeah, I shouldn't have. Sometimes words come out of my face that shouldn't come out of my face. Alright, we're an item. The sword could have a fighter definition and an AI type. We could have an animated sword. Two ends of the spectrum, yeah. The love of why will this not type? Now it'll type. Okay. Now that I've actually figured out what do we do, we're not blocking, we're an item. We're a weapon with 2 power and no defense. Because why would a sword give you defense? Oh, level info. How did I make level info? What's level info? Oh, right. This was the system for leveling up. That only the player really uses, but apparently everybody could level up if I wanted them to. Oh, I could level up my sword. The Venn diagram of games I've always loved, but nothing's scratched the itch. So maybe I can, who knows? I'd love to do a game jam sometime. Maybe after I've settled into the new job and I figure out what kind of free time I have. Could do a game jam later this year. Dragon, I'm full of ideas, but no skills on the follow-through. Hence, we have our brain dump channel. Want to get a free idea? Sure, I'll take a free idea. Love ideas. They're delicious. Oh, right, I need a texture. Ha ha ha. We haven't picked what our thingamajig is going to look like. That's not what I want. Or maybe that is actually what I want. Monochrome packed. We have to figure out what our sword's gonna look like, or our dagger rather. Those are keys. Those are bows. That's okay. One of these looks like daggers, because those are obviously swords. Can't figure out it. Okay, but making YouTube thumbnails, like, I've been working on that for months. We're all drawn to your lighthouse of getting shit done, actually. If I actually wanted to get shit done, I wouldn't be streaming. I have started editing my old VODs into the parts where I'm actually just working. And in a 2-hour stream, at best, it's 45 minutes of actual work. So if I actually wanted to get shit done, I would not be streaming. What I like to do is hang out and get some shit done. Okay, so we're selecting one of these for our dagger. What do we think? I feel like these might be too fat for a dagger, actually. These ones? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for daggers. We'll go with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody can vote. Fighting game, 8 or 16-bit style, story mode, and later arena. Characters based on Twitch viewers. Ooh, does this have Twitch integration? Because I'm super down to make Twitch integration. I've done Twitch chatbots before. Oh, maybe that should be the next game. Twitch integrate. The next game I make should have Twitch integration. Okay, this is a good idea. And it's definitely going to be pixel art because I cannot figure out anything that's not pixel art. It's going to be pixel art. Also, my first video gaming was on the Game Boy, so... Super Nintendo and Game Boy Color. A vote for 2 and a vote for 3. Alright, so we're between these two. Snooze? No, ad. Oh no, I'm out of ad snoozes. Okay. A second vote for 3. Make this roguelike because I think probably I was inspired and then there happened to be a decent enough tutorial. Alright, sounds like we're going for 3. I like it. Let's go with 3. Alright, we have succeeded in creating 1 item. I was growing up on the GameCube and everyone was experimental and fun. GameCube was so good. I never had one, but I thoroughly enjoyed playing on my friends' GameCubes. Maybe I should find an old GameCube. Buy a secondhand GameCube. That might be fun. Good gift to sometime while I regret the turn of the ads, right? I'm trying to clump them all together where I take a break anyway, so that even if you don't have a sub, then the ads don't affect anything anyway. What was the game before? Oh, the one that we were making before this? Because before this I made a cookie clicker game. It's even worse than this one. By a lot. It has a lot more, art. Do you like collecting games? Viva Pinata. It's a fun idea. I don't know this one. Viva Pinata. Viva Pinata. What is this? What is this? This looks like Charlie the Unicorn on something. I think I started with the cookie clicker just because you just click buttons and that seemed like a good way to learn how to Godot in the most basic form. But then I feel like we were talking about roguelikes and I liked the idea. And then I found the tutorial, I think is how that went. I mean, those VODs are up, so you can go back and check if you really want to know. Garden, depending on what you grow, will be able to attract wild pinatas you can convince to stay. You can breed, raise, clever. Oh! That is not what I thought that game would be. With pinatas, I figured it would be a lot more violent. Interesting. Next fighting game. Yeah, my combat right now is very... Can you imagine a real-time combat game? That'll be a challenge one day. I don't know if I'm quite ready for that one. I think I'll stick to the top-down pixel art for now. Alright, I got 90 seconds before ads. Twitch is gonna force me into an ad break, so... everybody get up, hydrate, stretch, go look out a window, touch some grass, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. The ads take about 3 minutes, but it's 5-ish minutes. Right. Where's my button? I gotta get a stream deck, guys. Ever watch JoJo? I have not. Is that the anime? I think I know what you're talking about, and it's been on my list forever, and I have not. Okay, I found my button. One day I'll get a stream deck, guys. All right. See you in 5 minutes. All right, what are we adding? We're adding a sword now. Mm-hmm. New resource. Sword definition. Black metal is supposed to be low quality? Oh, well, there shows what I know about metal. Why is it called black metal? There's so much about metal, I just don't even know. Sword. Because black is an evil color. Low fidelity is evil. It's just extra evil. For the love of... Never lets me type in there the first time. Okay. Oops. That's not gonna work if I don't pick an atlas for it. Now we can edit the region. Alright, sword selection. Those were our daggers, so now we've got sword selections. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for swords. Oh. So the song Black Metal. I'm getting a whole education here. Alright, a vote for 1 and a vote for 4. Alright, 2 votes for 1. With the chonky handle. All right. 3 votes for 1. I guess we're going with 1. Okay, what are we adding after the sword? Ooh, we get to add armor. What are we still adding? Leather armor, chainmail. Oh, that's it. Okay. 2 weapons, 2 armors. I guess that makes sense. There's enough things, little sprites in this pack still that we could add more things, should we so desired. God, this sounds long. Hey, elegant mechanic. Late due to disastrous attempt at swimming for the first time in 30 years. Super bad idea. Yeah, this is why I don't swim, because I'm in water deep enough to swim approximately once a year. That's just, it's no. It's a bad time. The stream's going up pretty well. We're adding equipment and theoretically finishing the tutorial today, but I don't know. Did I add... Oh, I did not add... Oh my god. Equippable component definition. Did I really not? Did I really not? It's supposed to be 2. Save. Okay. Sword. Oh, for the love of... Yes, no. No, yes. Yes, no. Wait, no. That's the dagger definition. This is the sword definition. Yes, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Equippable component definition. It is a weapon with power 4. Okay. We got there. And we're not an actor. We're an item. Gray color sword that everybody picked. Okay. We're good. We're getting there. Now we're adding leather armor. Let's try that again. Resource. Item. Leather armor. I can spell leather? Yes, I can. Jazzy. Leather armor. Leather armors for archers. Yeah, well, we don't have ranged combat in this game, so deal with it. Okay, we need to find some armor. That looks to be up here. That looks like robes. That's not what we want. Cars. That's not what we want. I would like something that looks like a full suit of armor, so I guess it's one of these. What's our other item that we're adding? Chainmail. Okay. None of these look particularly like leather or chainmail. I feel like the armor selection is a little bit lacking. It's playing cards. We don't need that. These are all houses and stuff. Don't want that. Well, I feel like this is the only one that looks like chainmail. So I think these look more like plate mail. So I think we're between 1 and 2 for leather armor. None of them are especially good, but let's go with 1 or 2 for leather armor. A vote for 1. Anyone else? Or we'll go with 1. Two is more breastplate? Yeah. None of these look particularly like leather armor. So we'll just pretend. We'll go with that. Same gray color as everything else, I think. Where's the thingy? Oh, no, wait, we're picking a different color. We're an equippable component. Armor. You'll have defense 1. Oops. Should not be blocking. That should be right. I think, did I remember to make the rest of these non-blocking? Yes. No. Yes, you're an item. You're an item. You're... Ooh, nope. You're an item. There we go. Doing a blog post and getting ready for the boys tonight. Going to attempt having company and not falling asleep at 8 p.m. I wish you luck. What's the game tonight? Doing some Magic the Gathering or Blood Bowl? I still haven't tried Villainous, and I really want to. We picked different colors for those. No, we didn't. That's still the same gray color. Okay. And we need a chainmail definition. Not the button I meant to press. Did we decide where's... There we go. Thought that one looked the most chainmail-y. So everything else is getting into like scale and plate mail territory. For the love of God, why won't you let me type? Oh, is that a Godot bug? If that's... Oh! Of course, this is all behind my camera, so you can't see what I'm doing. But there's a little tooltip pop-up, and when the tooltip pop-up is there, I can't type in the box. But when the tooltip pop-up is not there, I can type in the box just fine. It's very annoying. You're an item. You're an equippable component of the type armor. Defense bonus 3. All right, we've added all these items. There's 3 places in our code we need to update to integrate our new shiny toys to the existing game. If only as dumb items without any functionality yet. No, that's fine. I just want to be able to see them and pick them up. Okay, we want entity types. Wait. This sidebar needs to get smaller. This is too big. Be small. You also can be smaller. Now that I filled that all in. Right, so after we add all the scrolls, then we also need to be able to load all of the weapons and armor. I feel like there's got to be a better programmatic way to do this. I'm sure there is. And then we need to update our spawn tables and dungeon generator. Right, I did change that. So starting on floor 4, we'll be able to... We have a small chance to find swords, and on floor 6, we'll start having a chance to find chainmail. We will have the player spawn with a dagger and leather armor, so we only entered the sword and chainmail here. Okay. So you can't find additional daggers and leather armor because you spawn with them. I guess that makes sense. Swords and chainmail will now appear once the player is deep enough in the dungeon, but we'll need one more change in order for them to be able to pick them up. We need to expand the get items function in map data. Get items, get items. Entity is a consumable component or an equippable component. This is too freaking jazzy. Skip track. Try again. So could this not just be item component? How is entity set up? Have consumable components. We have entity type. Do we need consumable component? I am unconvinced. Seems like it should just be able to have an item component. I suppose I only have an item component definition. I don't have any item component code. Okay, never mind. I guess this does make sense. Lurk away, elegant mechanic. Lurkers are welcome. Goodness knows I lurk in everybody else's streams and chats and discords. Okay. Yes, so item component is only a definition. It doesn't have any code associated with it. There's no actual like class associated with it. So we do need it. The way it is should be fine, I think. Although if something's broken. This change asks for equippable. Oh my god, if you just keep reading the tutorial, it answers my question. This change asks for an equippable component on the internet, on the entity, which we don't have yet. Yeah, this was exactly the problem that I thought it was. We just hadn't got to that part yet. So in set entity type, if item definition is consumable component definition, We handle consumable, otherwise it's wider consumable. Here we go. The indents are fine. What are you complaining about? Oh, they're double indented, that's why. No, that one's not. Have I just forgotten how to write an if else? Oh, if we need the if. Okay, wait. Let's try this again. We add the following. We want to leave that alone. No, we... No, wait. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Okay. That's what we wanted. So we now don't just have consumable ones, we have items that can be consumable or equippable. Got it. All right. So theoretically, we can find and pick up equipment for testing purposes. On floor 0, we're gonna make it so that a sword has a very high chance of showing up. And then we should be able to run this. And there's a sword. We should be able to pick it up. It says you picked up the sword. And if we open the inventory, it says we have a sword. But attempting to use the sword breaks because it's expecting a consumable component that has an activate function. And this is an equippable component that doesn't have that. But the point is, we can find a sword. So... we're going to take care of that. We create a new equipment. To create a new script extending component at components... components, equipment component, script. And it'll look like this. So it extends component and it has an equipment change signal, which I guess will do stuff when we equip new items. And I don't know what slots are for. Guess we'll find out. Some slots currently in Active Dictionary. We don't need to create variables for each slot because we can just use the values of equipment type enum as keys. As mentioned earlier, that means no dual wielding and no multiple rings and the like. You need a more complex system for that. However, if you want helmets, You only need to add an entry for that in the equipment type, and just like that, the system will work for helmets as well. Equipment will give boni? Is this supposed to be the plural of bonuses? Bonus? Sure. Equipment will give bonuses to power and defense stats, and the equipment component is responsible for telling us how much. So we'll have defense bonus and power bonus. Oops. That's supposed to be a funk, not an unk. It's not gonna work. So what are we doing here? Defense bonus. Okay, for items in slots, so... that's just rolling through all the items in slots and adding up the defense bonuses. Same deal for the power bonuses. Want to know whether an item is equipped. Is item equipped? I mean, I guess you can set that on the item itself, but wouldn't it just make more sense if it was on in an equipment array on the player? Feels weird. Simply check if the item is part of the values of the slots dictionary. Oh, this is the equipment component that the player is gonna have because they have like an inventory component when they can have an inventory, and this is like gonna be a kind of a separate inventory on the player that has all of the equipment. I understand. I understand. So is item equipped is just going to ask, hey, is this item exactly like I said in the array of things, of equipped things on the player? This makes so much more sense. I was misunderstanding how this code was going to be attached. Okay, and then for the actual equipping and unequipping, so this is going to get an equipment type. Current item. Slots to get slot. So we're getting an item based on equipment type. And then optionally printing the message, you remove the whatever, and then you erase it from the slot. And then emit the signal that you changed your equipment. An equipment type is an argument that tells us which slot we will unequip from. Oh, we have different types. We have different types of slots. I see, I see. As well as a Boolean argument that tells us when we will log the unequipping message. Then in the function, we get the current item. Note that the way we'll call this function should ensure that we only ever try to unequip from a slot that actually has an item. Otherwise, we should probably add checks, etc. Okay, this makes more sense. And now we can equip things. to a slot. Same deal. Because you want an underscore there. So you'll get the item in whatever type of slot. If there is an item in that slot, you unequip it, then you equip the new item, print the message optionally, and then emit the signal. Is there a reason this code did not have the underscore here? No, that's just a small error. Because underscore in front means, as far as I gather, that means that this is a private method that's not, or a private function rather, that's not going to be called from outside of this class. So it's only meant to be used internally. Whereas if you don't have the underscore, then it's meant to be called by things outside of this code. Which means, and since that has an underscore, then when we call it down here, it must also have an underscore. So this should have an underscore, and does not. But that's easy enough to add. Reasonably, I know how to code a game. You have to code everything, but then you get in there and it's like, that? I have to code that? Absolutely everything. Including the boilerplate, basic stuff that every single thing needs. I think that is a very solid case for AI for writing boilerplate code that just needs like a little bit of context. AI is so nice for that and can save you like an hour of setting up boilerplate code. It's real nice for that. But I don't think AI is going to fully replace devs for a while yet. At least not for all but the most basic stuff. It is an extremely handy tool for writing your boilerplate code for you though, because that's super basic stuff, very formulaic, and only needs the tiniest bit of context. It's like, you're a game, you should just do that. I know. You would think some things would come built in. On the other hand, Godot is open source, so like, if you want to make it work different, you can submit a pull request. I don't like this one small thing because I have to type code and it takes me 30 seconds. I'm gonna spend hours and hours writing a pull request so I never have to spend 30 seconds writing this thing again. It's a very developer mindset. Probably add-ons. Oh. Godot have that? Of course it does. Of course it must. I haven't looked at that at all. Have add-ons? Tools? Orphan Resource Explorer. That's exciting. Upgrade mesh surfaces. That sounds very technical. I'm not going to press that button. I don't know what it does. It sounds like a button that might break things. Anyway, we've equipped something to slots. No thoughts, just vibes. Okay. So we allow the equipment component to figure out what it has to do with an item with the following function. Toggle equip. Based on minimum interacting with the inventory, it basically can only tell the game do something, right? And so we need to So this is just going to be like, if it's equipped, unequip it. And if it's unequipped, equip it. Because we don't have a whole separate equipment interface, we just have the inventory. Makes sense. And then because we have the ability to save and load, we need to add that so that we save and load all of our equipment. Equipment component, we need to make sure to restore the inventory component before it. Things should work as long as we remember to do that, but I wanted to point that out anyway in case you create your own components with dependencies. Right, because the equipment is tied to the inventory. Second thing is the slightly odd seeming code. Okay. All right, that's an implementation detail that, fine. I will just believe you that it didn't work the way that makes more sense. And that's the equipment component done. Our next step is to integrate it with the entity and the other affected components, i.e. the fighter component. We're so close to being done, guys. I really want to get this done today. I'd be so excited. So freaking excited. Oh, can I get this done in 10 minutes? I might go over today. I'll push it today because I just really want to get this done. I can always just tell food to show up. I don't have to make food, right? I'm a grown-up. I'm a grown-up with grown-up money. I can just tell food to show up. Entity definition. On the other hand, my big plan for dinner was to cube some tofu and throw it in the oven for half an hour, so not exactly hard work. So we just need to say if we have equipment. We only need to know whether or not an entity should have an equipment component, and most entries should not have one. In fact, in our game, only the player should. So when you open entity definition player and tick, okay, so open entity definition player and tick has equipment. Definition player. Make this bigger so I can read it. AI type hostile. What? You don't need an AI type, we're the player. Has equipment, there we go. Good luck, thanks. So this level up stuff, it's behind the camera. Of course it is. Of course it is. Can I drag this out of here? Can I drag this whole box out of here? Make floating. You guys, I can float this box. Okay. Because I want to talk about a thing that's behind the camera. So this level up thing. The level up base and factor has to do with the player's XP leveling up, but it also talks about XP given. So the same component handles not just the player leveling up, but also when you kill something, how much XP it gives. And I feel like those should be two separate things. Like giving XP and receiving XP to level up. I feel like those are different things. But this tutorial has them as the same thing, and that's one of the things that I would change. If I could. Well, I mean, I guess I could, but it's, oh no. Now this is a separate window. How do I dock this again? I don't know how to redock this. How do I redock this? I don't want to make that floating. How do I undock this? Those dots aren't going to do it. Well, I guess that's just floating now. Can't seem to... Alright, well, that'll just float now. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, now we're going to open entity. I can make that so tiny now. Start by adding a slot for the new component. Because we can have equipment. And in set entity type. We need to create the equipment component if the entity definition should have equipment. Ow. My mousing hand hurts in weird places. Why is it doing that? Might need to get a more ergonomic mouse. Or relearn how to mouse left-handed. That might be the easier solution. I did that once already. Wonder how quickly it would come back. Imagine if you were Indian and called... I don't know how to read that. What does that say? I need a phonetic pronunciation. Nerd by Daylight. Fellow Opera GX user, yeah. Okay, maybe this is weird, but I separate all of my internet stuff into different browsers. So all of my streaming stuff happens in Opera. Or like, and the associated YouTube channel. This all happens in Opera. I have Vivaldi for all of my personal stuff. I'm just like watching YouTube and whatever. And then I have Chrome for podcast stuff. And I just keep it all separated that way. I find it helpful. Ah, yes, neat. Okay, all right. It's very fancy. Is that Hindi? That script? Language? Question mark? I don't know things. But yes, I find it very helpful to keep everything visually separated. Hindi, excellent. Because I know there's also Tamil, but I think that one's less common. I also wouldn't be able to identify them either by sight or sound or anything. I just know that there's a second language. Makes sense, although just in case you didn't know, you can have separate workspaces in Opera GX. Yeah. No, there are, I can do that, and I have different workspaces in Vivaldi as well, and all that. I don't know. I like the separation of concerns, and then the things that track me aren't tracking all of this stuff together. It just, I don't know, it keeps things cleaner in my opinion. But it's probably very unnecessary to have 3 different web browsers installed on one computer. It's technically called Devangari. Differentiate between aspirated and non-aspirated consonants? Oh, good lord. That is too complicated. Whatever works for you. Thought I mentioned just in case. No, I appreciate it. I think Did I know that there were workspaces? I mean, I actually don't know. Maybe I didn't know that, but it's nice having things very visually separated. Pan versus pan. What? That's, it's too complicated. Aspirated consonants. Far too fancy for me. Hippigo TV, welcome. Kind of game are you making? I am following a tutorial because I'm still very much learning Godot. This is my second ever game. So I'm following a tutorial to make a roguelike, and I am almost done. This is the last part of the last part of the tutorial, and I'm hoping to finish today. Except I keep getting distracted, and I have very limited amount of time on Wednesdays. So we'll see if we get done today. Pan. Huh, okay. It's still too complicated. 40 minutes, my second attempt at washed flour seitan is done and ready. Washed flour seitan. It just kind of sounds like you're fermenting like paper mache paste. I know that's not what you're doing, but that's immediately what my brain goes to. Complexity equals fun? Haha. Complexity equals fun. There's welcome distractions that prevent me from working too hard and burning myself out. Fair enough. I was saying earlier, if I actually wanted to get stuff done, I would not be streaming while I do this, because it's very distracting. This is very... This track's a mood. I've distracted myself again. What was I doing? Something about set entity type. Is that what I'm looking at? That's not what I'm looking at. Did I do this already? As equipment. Yes, I did. Yes, I did this part. Okay. Okay, and then our save system. Turn inventory level. Does it matter if that's above that? No. You mentioned something about things needing to happen in a certain order before, so let's do it in the order that the tutorial suggests. Dopamine rush of finally getting a complex task working. Yeah. That moment where you figure the thing out and you're like, yes, I am a god, I am the most brilliant person to have ever lived. And then half an hour later, you're bashing your head against a missing semicolon or something, and it's a wild world of highs and lows writing code. But I do love the highs. Don't know that it's a healthy relationship. With that much high and low. Seems like sort of an abusive relationship now that I'm thinking about it. Oh well. I went to school for it. I'm gonna stick with it. Mentioned, at least for the restore function, it's important that we restore the equipment after we were done restoring the inventory. Yes, I remember that part. Now, for equipment to actually have an effect, we need to account for the equipment bonus in our fighter component. So we have to change some variables in the fighter component. This one? Yes. In, oh, just fighter? GD? No. See, this tutorial does this sometimes. It's just like in fighter.gd, and And we don't have a fighter.gd. Do you mean fighter component? Pretty sure that's what you mean. But it'll just like subtly change the names of some of things occasionally. Base defense, base power. Probably renamed some files last second and didn't update all our references. Probably. Probably. Okay, wait, here's power and defense. I think this is the part. I think this is the part that it means. There has to be some interpretation at some points. And then you're upset because we don't have base power and base defense. Which I'm hoping we'll get to in a moment. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to figure out what you mean by this. We will use the values we previously had as base defense and base power in order to minimize refactoring with the rest of the code. We still use defense and power for the result. It's a trick. By using a get method, we effectively make it so that when a property is accessed, it will turn the sum of base defense or base power and the corresponding bonus. Yeah, I think you mean that I need to do this. I think that fixes it. Maybe? Maybe it does not. Base defense. Base defense. I think that should work. You know what? I'm gonna not mess with this just now. I'm gonna continue with the tutorial, and if it's still broken, I will come back and rename some things until it works. So we're going to get our defense and power bonuses. Twitch, I don't want to run an ad right now. Okay, so we check if we have an equipment component, and then we get the defense or power bonus from it. Okay, so we need to change our initialization to set the base stats. Yes, that's what I thought. There we go. We're gonna actually fix it now. Base defense and base power. Yes. Yes, that fixes things. And then we have to change the code for saving and restoring. Which is just adding base, because we're all about that base. No trouble, indeed. Okay. Oh. Alright, leveling should affect the base stats. We need to change level component a bit as well. What are you suggesting? Increased power and increased defense. I can't believe I remember that song. It's a very catchy song. How could you forget that song? You have to tell me how old that song is and I'm gonna be sad because I feel like it's not that old. Alright, so increase power. Again, we're all about adding that base. I dislike that. Having to rename crap everywhere. You'd also feel old? Okay, good. Solidarity. Actually, I'm too curious now. Yeah, that song. How old is it? Oh god. Is it really 2014? Is it that old? I didn't realize it was that old. June 30th, 2014. Oh, I did not realize it was that old. All right. Yeah, I shouldn't have done it. Should not have done that. All right, now our fighter component can properly coordinate with the equipment. Yay! Last piece of a way to actually interact with the equipment in the inventory. Interacting with equipment is an action, so we create a new action. Okay, so we need a new script extending action. This bit of hair was trying really hard to poke me in the eye. We need an equip action at entities, actors. Actions. We want an equip action. New script. No, equip action. I'm gonna buy a walking kit. I know, right? Some days. All right, so just this has lyrics. I don't want it to have. I don't want vocals in my background tracks. Okay, so we do the superclass initializer, set the item, and then we toggle the equipment item. Gotta be real close to being done. And because we return true, this action, changing equipment, costs a turn, just like it does in D&D. Now we need a place to create this action. We already have the item action, just like we do map action. We use that to change another action on the fly. So we change the perform function of item action to the following. Just override it with all of this. Alright, so we don't have an item, don't do anything. If it's an equippable item, do the equip action. Otherwise, it's a consumable item, do the consumable action. and we need to update our drop item action to unequip an equipment item when we drop it. Head it out? Yeah, we'll be done here soon. We gotta be done real soon. Because I also need to head out. I need to get food, and then I need to head out. I'm very excited for this to be done. Oh no, now I'm racing against the 5-minute ad clock. It's gonna force me to run an ad in 5 minutes. Okay, drop action, blah blah blah. Need to unequip it before dropping it. So otherwise we'll still have an equipped item even though it's no longer in our inventory, and that would be silly. Survive off leak code challenges. Yes, well, sadly I am a mere mortal, so I have to actually eat food sometimes. Coffee and granola bars aren't gonna cut it. Gotta eat real food like a real grown-up. Cheesecake. No, I finished the cake last night. We did have cake, but I finished that last night. I was gonna be a really boring grown-up and like make tofu and put it on rice. Do some tofu fried rice. Doesn't that just sound like the most exciting dinner? I'm a boring grown-up. Okay, equipping should work. To test that, we can give the player some starting equipment. Add player start equipment. Oh, okay, this was a thing I was struggling to figure out earlier. Okay, we create a new function in game GD. Tofu fried rice actually sounds good. If you say so. We had a signal for changing equipment at some point, and I don't know that we ever hooked it up to anything. That might be a problem. Alright, so this is just going to create a new item, stick it in the player's inventory, and then equip it. Function takes us on, it takes strings. So when we do new game, right after we create the player, we can add some starting equipment. New game, new game. Okay, player starts with a dagger and leather armor. Our user interface has two issues at the moment. The first is that we have no way of knowing if an item is currently equipped, and the other is that the nice stats display we have below the HP and XP bars do not properly update. Okay, well, I am not going to finish that in 1.5 minutes, so we're gonna run this real quick, make sure this works. Of course it doesn't. Great start. Great start. So freaking close. Null instance, set entity type. Let's not add the starting equipment just now. Did you add the entity definition for your leather armor? Did I? Ooh. Great question. Type, item, armor. Yeah. That should work. And our dagger. Equipment type. It's type item. On base null instance. The thing, it's trying to set a type on an entity that doesn't exist is the thing. The errors for the leather armor? Oh, okay. It's about to force me into an ad. Okay, everybody take 5. We're gonna come back after the ad break. Okay, I did a little bit of debugging during the ad break, and it actually looks like it has to do with when it's trying to update the labels, which is the next thing that the tutorial wanted to do. So, let's just follow the tutorial and see if that solves our problem. Something's going to indicate equip items in the inventory list by marking them with an E for equipped. We do this in inventory menu. In register item. And if it is equipped, we'll add an E on the end. Where do we want to put that? After the item button text. This, however, is a problem because this doesn't have an is equipped. We want to know if the item is equipped. Theoretically. We can check in build whether the items we iterate through are equipped. Oh, maybe we're about to add that is equipped. What does build look like? Okay, our equipment after here. So var is equipped. Oh, I see, I see, I see. We're gonna do this slightly differently. We're going to get whether it's equipped. Then is equipped is gonna be up here. Yes, I missed that part. Is equipped is a boolean. All right. Run the game now, you see that our starting equipment is shown as equipped. Yeah, except that we haven't fixed the labels yet, and the labels are upset. Okay, stats display. Oh, and this is the bottom. This is the last piece, guys. The last piece. We're so close. We're so close. Handle that in the character info box. Update labels will pull the current values. In addition to level ups, it also needs to update when the equipment changes. Yes, so now we've finally connected that signal. Of the way we do starting equipment, this means the update labels will be called before the player is ready. That means we need a short check at the start of the function. Yeah, that check, which will make all of this work probably. Because the problem was that it was trying to get stats from an entity that didn't exist yet. So if the player does not exist yet, it's not inside the tree of nodes that comprise the game, then just wait until it's ready. That should do it. Okay, all right. Let me go back to game and give us starting equipment, because I commented that part out as part of my debugging. So now, if we start a new game, bork. Okay. So, new button pressed, game requested, new game, new game. Okay. Something about the leather armor. And player start equipment. Knit. I wonder, have I spelled leather armor wrong? So there's leather armor here. Leather armor, okay. Leather armor. Guys. Did I spell leather armor wrong? This is my question. No, I spelled it right. Okay. And it is in entities, items, leather armor. That is all correct. Okay, so it's not that. How do I close that? We're creating item key is leather armor. Key is leather armor. So we're setting entity type to leather armor. key is leather their armor, which is how it's spelled here. But for whatever reason, the entity definition is null. So the key is leather armor. This is entity types. And it should be. I don't know. Let me just in case this is doing some weird stuff. Copy that. Paste it there. No, that's correct. All right. All right, let's... What's different about leather armor? It's an item. It doesn't have any of these. It's an equippable component. It's armor type. It's gonna be something really dumb. I can tell. Well, let's just reload current project. See if that helps. Because it certainly can't hurt. Definition is null. Okay, so the issue is that it's not able to load the entity definition for leather armor. I don't really know why. Because I'm pretty sure everything's spelled properly. So for the moment, comment that out, see if dagger at least works. Well, it doesn't say that we have a dagger, but we have something equipped. I removed the blank. Okay. Ah, and my attack went down. And it's not calculating my attack properly. I equip the something and it gives me an attack of 2. But if I unequip the dagger, I suddenly have no attack whatsoever. Oh, and I can pick up the sword. I want to equip the sword. Alright. The sword works. Something about daggers and leather armor don't work very well. But the sword works fine. so what's different? Why does the sword work? I really got to figure out how to dock this window again. How do I dock this window? There we go. We'll go like that. That'll work. So why are you different? Sword works, but the dagger does not. Interesting. Sword works fine. Oh. Well, dagger's missing a name up here. That's part of the problem. That fixes one of the small problems we're having. When did that go away? Oh. We eliminated our base power and defense at some point. I don't remember what that used to. I feel like it was like 2 and... I don't know, 2. I feel like that. That fixes another small problem. But I genuinely do not know why it's so upset about leather armor. So let's just not do that. And in our dungeon generator, we'll just drastically increases the chance of finding a dagger, and we'll try leather armor. How does this work? Okay, so it tried to generate something. Next floor, generate dungeon. Place entities, entity key. Yeah, it does not like the entity key leather armor. This is genuinely, I've just named something poorly. There we go. Oh my god. I just figured it out, guys. I'm trying to load leather underscore armor underscore definition. Leather underscore armor. Betcha. If I add a definition, I betcha this works now. There's a sword. I can equip the sword. Don't die on the stairs. Ugh, you're in my way. Yeah, there's some leather armor. I can pick it up. I picked up the leather armor. I can now equip the leather armor. I've got my sword and my leather armor equipped. I can also drink a health potion, should I so desire. Figured it out. We got there. We got there in the end. I knew it was going to be something incredibly stupid like that. Oh, I'm so smart. SMRT. All right, let's go around and fix everything. So new game, we can give ourselves this stuff, and then in the dungeon generator, so dungeon generator floor? No, it was, oh my god. There we go. Then we don't need to have any of that stuff in there. And now we should have a generally finished game. Except for, I think at some point we accidentally deleted. Yeah, the orcs aren't attacking. So we messed something up at some point. Entity orc. We mucked something up. Fighter component definition. What do we got? Power, defense, yeah. Anti-type hostile. So why do they not attack? Or is it... No. They attack for 3. And with our defense... Oh. They attack for 3. And if our defense is a combined 4 currently with the leather armor on, they're not able to do any damage. Let's fix that. Player has 0 defense starting out. How about that? There we go. So we have defense 1 and attack 4 with the dagger. The orcs are still not hitting me. Why have the orcs stopped attacking? They should be beating me up. Not just standing here patiently waiting for me to bash them over the head. Tutorial, we've broken something else. All right. I wonder if it's maybe in the hostile AI. Do movement action. Extends action with direction. Extends action. I don't know, they should be doing melee action. Are they just not attacking? I'm very confused. Anyway. I hate to leave it here when it's so close to being done, but I really have to go. Ugh. Should still be, even if it's not doing any damage, it still should show up. Because power is base power. It's power bonus. It should still be doing damage. Why are you not doing damage? You're not even logging it, like you're not even trying. Like they're following me, so the hostile AI is working. But they should be hitting me. Even if it's for 0 hit points. Well, I hate to leave it here, but this is unfortunately going to take more time than I have. I'm very upset about it. Anyway, we have 99% of a working game, except that somehow enemies have stopped attacking us. Should be doing a melee action. But it's not doing any of that. We didn't even mess with this part. Why is it broken? How do we, what's our syntax for sending messages? I don't remember. Okay, wait, action. I'm just gonna get a whole bunch of weights in the log now, aren't I? Yeah, I'm getting a whole lot of weights. This is very... that's such a frustrating place to leave it. Okay. Fine. I'm going to upload my code to GitHub shortly. Oh god, where's my GitHub? This isn't my GitHub. I will upload my stuff to GitHub shortly. I believe my GitHub link is in the description below the video, I think, or on the About Me page or something somewhere. So if you would like to try to find my bug, you're welcome to do that. In the meantime, let's very quickly go raid somebody, because I seriously need to, I need to be leaving the house in half an hour and I haven't even made food yet. So, very quickly, who are we raiding today? Who do we have? Huh. I'm not following anybody in the same category, oh no. Okay. We got in the same category that's a similar or smaller size. So many choices. I am open to suggestions, because my usual raid people are not online right now. In the meantime, I have socials. You can follow me. Do follow me on something. Actually, join the Discord, because the stream schedule is changing and I haven't quite nailed it down yet. But I'm starting a new job next week, so Wednesday streams, I don't have time for Wednesday streams anymore. So I think we're just doing extra long Friday streams for the rest of the month until I figure out my life, because 4-day work weeks. But also I won't be around this Friday because I'm away at another dance competition. So if you want to actually know what the schedule is, Discord is going to be the best place for that. In the meantime, who am I following that might be fun? Unlurking just in time. Excellent, excellent. I don't have anybody on here. Okay. So of people that I'm following, we've got a Dwarf Fortress stream. And we got a couple of music streams for things that people might like. But if we want some more coding, nobody I'm following is doing coding right now. And I don't watch enough coding streams to know who's good. Anybody got suggestions? I will take suggestions. Otherwise, I'm just gonna pick another small streamer at random. See if anybody else is doing Godot at least. Okay, that one's in French. That's not gonna fly. This relies on people actually tagging their streams properly. Smut with plot. Okay, that's a name. That's not even the stream name, that's the streamer name. That one's French. Ooh, learning Godot by recreating Pokemon Red. That could be fun. Who needs plot when you have smut? I know, right? All right. Okay, so Smut with Plot is working on the UI for the combat system today, whatever that is. They're a PNG tuber, or we've got somebody recreating Pokemon Red. So combat UI for the combat system or Pokemon Red. What are we feeling? Smut with Plot just for the name. I mean, fair enough. It's a pretty great name. Well, I seem to have a nice looking stream. All right, well, let's go do that then. Start raid. All right. Thank you everybody for hanging out. I will be back next Friday. I will be back next Friday. No later than 3 p.m. But for updates on the stream schedule, join the Discord. Discord is where I will actually nail things down. All right. And I'll get my code updated so that if anybody else wants to take a crack at finding my bug, or if you just want to play the game and look at it and see what's what, you can do that too. All right. Thank you for hanging out. Let's go have a good raid. Have a good night. Have a good week. Have a good everything. Good everything. I'm tired. Okay, bye guys.